So today we're doing customary weight comparisons. And we yesterday, or not really yesterday, it was like 2 days ago, did I think it was length comparisons, I want to say. Let me see if I can determine that. Let's see. Yes, it was length comparisons in customary units for 12.2, and now 12.3 is weight comparisons. So basically, let me tell you this. If you can do length, you can do weight, because they're pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is you're weighing something versus determining how long or high something is. So, if I have 1 pound, it's 16 ounces. Okay. So if I have 2 pounds, how many ounces is that? Well, all we have to do, and I'll use a different colored marker so that you can see it more clearly, is do times 16 for each of these. You take that second number and you multiply it by the first. So 2 times 16 would just be 32, because 16 plus 16 is 32. The next one would be 48, because 16 plus 16 plus 16 is 48. And remember, multiplication is just repeated addition. 4 times 16, think about that for a second. 4 times 16, 64. My marker's running out. We're in trouble. And the last one is 80. And remember, like I had said yesterday, it helps to make these charts. It helps, trust me. And if you don't believe that my answers are correct, I did the math beforehand, so you can check me by doing the math yourself. Or we can actually even do one right here. So let's do 16 times 3. Because I know some of you love to challenge that my math is wrong. 9, 12, 15, 18, 3, 48, there it is, ta-da, 48. So, now that we figured out that chart, what if I were to ask you a question on the chart? And remember, we do the charts because they make our lives easier. When you have the chart next to you, you can just bang it out. You can take a look at the numbers and say like, oh, look, I know this. So, Nancy needs 5 pounds of flour to bake a pie. She has 90 ounces of flour. So she needs 5 pounds, but she only has it in ounces. So she needs to know, is 5 pounds the same as 90 ounces, or is it too little? Because when you're baking, it doesn't matter if there's too much, because you can always just take some and put it in. But if you have too little, you can't bake, or you can't cook, or you can't do anything. That's like a recipe calling for 2 eggs and you only have 1. So for this, she needs either more of the flour, the same amount of the flour, or if she has less, she can't bake. So she needs 5 pounds, but she has 90 ounces. Well, let's take a look. She needs 5 pounds, okay? Which is only 80 ounces, and she has 90. So does she have enough? Yeah, she does. She has enough ounces. She actually has 10 ounces more than what she needs. So now let's try pounds and tons. And just like last time, I'm going to give you the conversion charts. I wouldn't take that away because I don't think it's necessary for you to memorize these charts, considering they're also online anyway, so you could just look them up. So let's do 1 pound. And they write pound as LB. So if you see 1 LB, that's a pound. 2 LB, that's 2 pounds. And ounces, they put as Oz, O-Z. 16 ounces, so see in the parentheses, Oz, lub, as I like to call it. Then we have ton. And then 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So remember, 1 ton is enormous. Now, what if I said 4 tons equals how many pounds? 4 ton equals how many pounds? Well, if 1 ton is 2,000, we have to do 1 ton. We do times 4 to get 4 tons. 1 ton times 4 gives us 4 tons, but we have to do the same thing to this side. So I'm just going to do 2,000 times 4. So 2,000 times 4. What would that be? It would be 8,000 pounds because 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 zeros. Let's do another one. Let's do 6 pounds. Equals how many ounces? Ounces is spelled with the U. So we have 6 pounds equals how many ounces? Well, if I go to the top, 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So I do 1 times 6 to get to here. So I must do the same thing on this side. 16 times 6. So if I would have to do that math like this. And I would have to multiply the way we learned to multiply. And I know that this would get me 96. So all you're doing is multiplying both sides. From 1 to 6, you multiply by 6. So you're just determining what you need to multiply by. Let's do another one. Let's do, let's think about this. This is another thing you're going to come across. Which one is bigger? 6 tons or 6 ounces? Which one is bigger? Let's go to our conversion chart. Which one is bigger? 6 ounces or 6 tons? If you're saying tons because 1 ton is 2,000 pounds and ounces are our smaller unit, you're correct. So tons, and you can look back at our chart that we made. We made that chart with the customary units, the metric units, and what do they look like. If you look at that, you can see what an ounce is. An ounce, 6 pieces of bread, 6 slices of bread, basically, like a little white bread that you use for your sandwich. 6 of those versus 6 cars. Which one weighs more? You can't even lift a car, but you could very easily on one finger hold up 6 slices of bread. So tons, definitely more. Even if we had 100 ounces, that's just 100 slices of bread. You can lift that. It would probably be a little heavier, but you can lift it. Versus 6 cars. You cannot lift a car. So the tons is always going to be more. Unless it's pounds, but over tons. So like, if it asks, if 1 ton is 2,000 pounds, right? And it says, which is more, 1 ton or 3,000 pounds? Obviously 3,000 pounds is more because 1 ton is only equal to 2,000. But usually, you would look at the unit first. So tons versus ounces instead of just the 6 and the 6. And then once you determine that, you could take a look at those numbers and make sure they kind of match up. But you guys are going to do really well on this chapter only because we learned all these skills in the last chapter. So, you know, not chapter, but I don't know what they're called, like piece, section. We learned all of this in section 2. And so now that we're on section 3, it's the exact same skill. They're just using different units. So you guys are going to do really well. See you later.